Hey folks, Dear VA Guy today. My name is Dale Davidson. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all of our veterans and spouses and everybody who, all of our first responders out there. So thank you so much for the sacrifices that you've given us. So today we're talking about understanding the VA Caregiver Support Program. I get a lot of information, a lot of questions about this. And so I thought I might just give you kind of an overview of this program, and if you have any other specific questions, you can contact us. So there's basically two levels of this program. There's the General Caregiver Support Program services, okay? Does not include a stipend, but you get to talk to a caregiver support person. You get peer support groups, you've got education, you've got mental health counseling, you've got a lot of different things in that caregiver program. So then the second one is the comprehensive caregiver program. Got some complications here, okay? But this is where you get the stipend, okay, as a caregiver. You still get the mental health, and you get all of the bells and whistles you had with the general plan, but then you also have the VA health care, you got respite care, you've got travel, all of these things, but there's some hoops you got to jump through. Number one, and we'll talk about this, is you gotta have some training. Okay, once you're approved, then you go through the training, and then each year you're going to have to do some supplemental training, provide some documentation, things of that nature. So the first hurdle we have with a comprehensive, program is, are you eligible? So as a general rule, we're talking about if you received an injury or if it was aggravated during service, okay, but the injury should have occurred during service. For instance, if you were medically discharged because of your injury, okay, or if you had a pre-existing injury but it was aggravated during service, okay, you can qualify. Now there's some specific dates in there, so if you need those dates, just give us a call. But again, you've got to have been disabled, and usually medically disabled or medically discharged from your service, or you got to be 100% disabled. In other words, okay? The caregiver's got to be at least 18 and a member of the family or somebody who lives with the family. So you got to prove that you're living with the veteran. You can't just be living at a different address. I mean, they're going to want to know that the addresses match. They're going to want proof that you actually live with the veteran. All right, so you got to complete the VA training, okay? Then you have to participate in annual reassessments, which again is more training, documentation as to you're actually doing your job. Well, how much do I get? Is our question we get a lot of times. It depends. It depends on a lot of different factors. Most of it depends on where you live and the cost of living and things of that nature. All right, so we got the eligibility out of the way. So how do you apply? Well, of course, there's a specific form for that. And then what you need to do, once you fill out that form and be as complete as possible, don't leave anything blank. If it doesn't apply, write NA, okay? So you don't have to worry about all that, okay? So you got to have the veteran's medical records. And I would suggest you get all of their medical records from not only the VA, but their private doctors as well. And those VA medical records have got to show that the veteran is disabled and needs this caregiver support program. Now, you got to provide proof that you're a family member, that you live at the house. So maybe you're going to have to prove that by a birth certificate. But if there's different names involved, then you're going to have to provide some kind of proof that I am the child, or proof that I'm the family member and some kind of family relationship. And sometimes we can do that through affidavits and statements and things of that nature. We've got to prove or show that the individual needs assistance with activities of daily living. And there's several different tests. There's a CATS Index of Independence and Activities test. There's a Functional Independent Measure test. All of those things are done after you have applied. But we're looking at activities of daily living. And we've talked about this before, but we're talking about bathing, dressing, toileting, eating, food preparation, transportation. All of those things go into, do you need this additional benefit, this comprehensive caregiver, to make sure that your activities of daily living are taken care of. I was talking to an individual today about this program, and he was telling me all of the ailments he had. Now, it appeared to me that he had quite a few, but of course I'm not a medical doctor, and so we kind of went through the CATS test real briefly, and the lower the score, the more help you need, versus the higher the score, the less help you need. The same way with the functional independence measure. So if you have a low score, the more dependent you are on these benefits, so that the more likely that you're going to be approved. So once you've got all of that, and then you've gone through the test, you've gone through the initial hoop that, yes, I do qualify, and then your caretaker's taken going through the training, and then you're going through these assessments, whether it be the CATS or the functional independence test. All of that is put in a package, and then the VA reviews it. Okay. Now, a lot of times, this is kind of like Social Security disability. You apply for that, and you're automatically denied. You might be denied because you're missing information, or we need more information. Whatever reason that you're denied, don't be discouraged, because you can always appeal, and there's different levels of appeal. There's the supplemental claims, there's the higher level of review, and then there's the clinical appeals process, which is a little bit different. So it depends on how you were denied, or the reason why you were denied as to what process you would go through. But look, don't give up. If you feel that you're entitled to these benefits, and keep fighting. Keep fighting. So if you need help, contact your local veteran service organization. Most towns have one. Contact the American Legion, or you're certainly free to contact us. So hey folks, again, happy 4th of July. Thank you for tuning in today. Of course, this was just a broad brush approach to the caregiver program. I've got this other video over here regarding family caregiver programs. Hey, check that out and give you a little bit more detail. Until next time, be blessed.